before the indictments, before the internet turned Parkway Gardens into Old Block, there was a dice game. And standing at that table were young men who once called each other family. Same block, same music, same enemies.
Definitely do. But they wanted my life. That's why I said they wanted my license, insurance, all type of shit. I said, damn, y'all need insurance to come in Parkway? What type of upscale shit is this? Damn. They need to put a pool in front of them in the middle of that bitch. Phone number, that bitch to be lit. I ain't gonna lie. That motherfucker gonna look like toilet water, but that bitch gonna be lit. Phone number. That shit gonna look like Starbucks coffee.
Oh, by the way, you still talking?
You still with your bitch.
You went and got him, and I checked his ass too on Lusty.
Anytime a nigga speak on my people, I'm bringing them in the room.
And got their ass treated on Steve.
You muted your mic, you bitch ass.
That was the waste of
Merch, I muted up, y'all.
On my kids, your ass ain't say nothing.
Now y'all merch, I muted up. Merch, I
Let's send this bitch up.
Merch, I muted up.
What y'all talking
about?
Go get him again. You gonna get his ass treated again.
Let's send this bitch up, bro.
Hey, stop playing with me, motherfucker. On your block. On my kids, I go spend night on your block.
No, don't do that, Lotto. Please don't, bro. We ain't
pull up.
Now you talking about you see some maturity.
I ain't trying to go on the block and see these niggas on Clubhouse.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, they go dignify that with a response. That you turned to the other cheek. You might as well go to church now, nigga.
He right though. He ain't had no response to DJ U-Tech.
Oh no, what the hell? You might as well go to church and start turning the other cheek.
Thank you niggas for the views.
Go pick up a Bible, folks. This show with you.
Go pick up a DJ.
I bet not never hear you didn't talk to nobody on this bitch no more.
Hey y'all, hold on. Memo
for a little bit, folks. You got Fredo talking crazy, folks. This is like, you know, this Fredo, bro. Like, I'm letting y'all know, folks, so the shorties don't end up doing the wrong thing. Y'all be talking about we took it too far and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm trying to tell y'all so y'all get ahead of this situation, folks. They big homies over there talking about our big, ain't no more of that, folks. On BD, we need to know about this. Folks them on some straight, man, Fredo, we don't care what he said, man, or this little shit, Man, folks hear that shit. The Savage, one of the Savages from the 6, he hear that shit, he instantly get that. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Let's ride on BD. We ain't take no big homies with us on phone. We instantly Savages. D-Thing them on phone them, you know. Phone them get that instantly. Like, man, what? Say less, folks. We go back over there to the 600s. We don't need the big ass cosign. We'll go back over there 600 and KD on phone them grave, folks. We standing on state. We standing on 61st in Indiana. They standing on 61st in Wabash. It's a block in between us. We basically having a standoff a block away, folks. All you hear shit get the going out, folks, on videos. 600 versus Front Street shootout with old block in Front Street. 600 and KD versus old block in Front Street having a bang out on the one, folks.
Memo. I see you and Memo kind of had some issues on the internet not too long ago.
What about him? What you said some issue?
From what it says right here, Memo tells Moona Duke he's putting belt to ass when he catch him.
He ain't never put a belt to ass in no more day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious. You know what I'm saying? He can't step a foot on my block. He will never step a foot on my block. Never.
You feel like, all right, this bro, now we've been around him forever. How could you just say that? Ooh, yeah. But how could you say the situation? Like, if y'all saying that's true that he shot one of my peoples, then that means you don't give a about your own people if you know, agreeing to that shit.
So there's kind of an understanding amongst why you doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
A single sound, a dice game, bones hitting concrete, laughter. The kind of laughter that only happens when nobody's dead yet. Before the bullets, before the Rico, before the world knew Parkway Gardens as O-Block, there was a dice game. And at that dice game stood two crews who called each other brother. This is the story of how that brotherhood became a battlefield. and how a war that everybody watched, nobody won. Here's what the internet gets wrong about O Block versus 600. They treat it like a breakup. Like two people who fell out over a disagreement. Like it was clean. Like there was a moment where somebody said, "We're done," and everybody nodded and picked a side. That's not how this happened. This wasn't a breakup. This was a building collapsing from the inside. The cracks were always there. The foundation was always compromised. It just took time for the whole structure to come down. And the people who lived inside that building, they didn't see it coming. Not because they were blind, but because they were living in it.
Y'all still fall under the BD Act because they was trying to say y'all renegade BDs.
I ain't gonna lie, don't get a
cracking trace on hard tell a me.
Hey, shout out my boy Slim.
Oh, hold on. Taking them, spinning them, blocking, they catch us all, they be yelling and running from me.
Stay doing it.
Drummer jeans, 6 BD cracking trains.
Hold on, get up on BD.
So y'all generation don't go by nations no more like the older guys did.
Man up, get off. What everybody gotta say too. Anybody gotta say something.
Y'all feel like nowadays everybody be under the EBK Act now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they slam. I'm hanging with snakes for real.
I don't trust nobody but Maz though.
I don't been slamming a lot of niggas out from a lot of different hoods and niggas be just bitch.
We don't give a fuck. BDR and BD, all that shit. We O Block gang. None more, none less. My word. Take some game.
You don't see the walls cracking when you're leaning against them. O Block and 600 weren't two separate organizations that formed an alliance. They were family, biological family, cousins on the same block, brothers from the same staircase, kids who played hide and seek in the same hallway that the city of Chicago would later tear down and scatter with Section 8 vouchers like seeds in the wind. When those buildings fell, the seeds landed in different soil, and that soil grew different loyalties. But in the beginning, before the drill music, before the bodies, before the bloggers and the court documents and the RICO cases, there was just the block. And the block was all of them together. Before O Block was O Block, it was called Wick City. Before 600 was 600, it was called Brick City. These are the names that almost nobody outside Chicago knows. And even inside Chicago, they've been buried under the weight of what came after. The fame, the music, the headlines, the RICO cases. But these names matter, because they tell you what these blocks were before the war made them famous. Wick City, also written as WEC City, was the original name for the Parkway Gardens area before O.D. Perry's death transformed it into a memorial. Wick City was just a place, a project, an address, a stretch of apartments where families lived and kids grew up, and the biggest concern was whether the CTA bus was running on time.
I think he would have been 32 this year. I'm finna be 34 this year.
Cause OD get credited for like a lot of the O Block guys. They say that OD was showing everyone the ropes and shit back in the day.
He was. It wasn't even necessary that he was actually showing them off. It was just watching them and wanted to do it. You feel me? It ain't like he was telling them like, look, come here, that's how you do this, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
No, what he was doing, he was showing them because he was doing it and wanted to do it, so they was following in his footsteps.
Why do you think he was so advanced and like you and him like jumped off the porch so early compared to everybody else?
I couldn't even tell you. I think it's just shit. We wanted to be like some little demons and shit. You feel me? Like you can't compare nobody on the streets to OD though. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was different, bro. He was different. Like a lot of who shout his name don't know him. So you don't know the real him. So you only seen the demon side. You ain't seen that OD that really brought the streets out when he died. You know what I'm saying? Like if bro love you, he love you. You know what I'm saying? He'll do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? It was times where I used to be dirty as hell. Didn't hide shit. Bro brought me shoes up out his crib. Got in trouble for bringing me the shoes because his mama just bought them. Brought me the shoes, and now when his shit, he just gave them to me. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that.
O.D. Perry, you know who? What?
Yeah, that was bro for sure. That was bro. That was my 10 year shit. We slept in the same bed, same cars, all type of shit together. We was really tight before he passed away type shit. That's my boy for sure. Right now, that's my brother. If I see him right now, he gonna love the fuck out of me.
Now, you know, I believe he passed away in 2012 or 2011?
Nah, yeah, 11.
2011, and that's what you guys formed the name O Block around.
Yeah.
You know, what was it that made him different to where, you know what I'm saying?
Because he was doing everything first. He was doing everything first. He was doing everything first, showing him how to do everything first and be raw. He was doing that shit before everybody was thinking about being raw. He'd been doing that shit.
Okay, do you remember, you know, when you guys first met, or was he older than you too?
Yeah, he was older than me. Yeah, he was older than me. Yeah.
He was older than you. Okay.
Yeah, we linked up a lot of times. We like I said, we used to be riding around in cars, hanging around, doing a little bad shit, going on 63rd, doing all type of bad shit, man.
Okay, now, do you remember how you got the news that he passed away?
Oh, yeah. I was on my way. I had got locked up, matter of fact. I was on my way back from the station, and I came on the block, and I was looking at Broden, like, Broden was looking all crazy, like a motherfucker got locked up for a gun or something. And that's when they just told me, like, man, oh. But I was locked up at the time. I was just coming back from getting out the station.
Okay, now, he passes away, so you don't get to attend his funeral or anything?
Yeah, hell yeah, I did. All that. I did all that. Hell yeah, for sure. I did all that. I did all that. Attended all that shit. Yeah.
Brick City was the original set before 600. Before Lil Boo and D-Thang founded 600 around 2009, the guys from that stretch of 59th to 61st on King Drive were Brick City, mainly GDs, a local crew with local concerns and local beefs. The name 600 came later. The identity came later. But the people were the same. Here's why this matters. The war between O Block and 600 isn't really a war between O Block and 600. It's a continuation of dynamics that existed when these blocks were called Wick City and Brick City. The names changed, the alliances shifted, but the underlying fault lines, who's family, who's op, who's both, those were there from the beginning.
For sure. So now OD, he another prominent figure from over there. They named the hood out there and all that. Rest in peace to the brother. Now I had seen you breaking down the story back a few. It was a while back, but you was breaking down the story where OD got the blowing at you. Like, now what happened with that? Like, to where y'all got to that point?
I mean, it wasn't like, okay, OD blowing at me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, he blowing at Tay or no shit like that. It was just, you know, in-house beefs with like 600 and Front Street at the time. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, OD was hanging with Fredo and them who was on the front. So one day, some shit kicked up with us and them, and OD then was over there with them. OD, you know, there's some shit going on between Front Street and 600 having to bang out, honestly. But it ended up being O. Like, you blow at O, it don't matter who the fuck shooting. You know what I'm saying? So, motherfucker, you know, licked the shot and O licked some shit back. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, y'all.
O and Gucci, that put it started busting on the strip, on the one, man. I ain't gonna lie. Motherfucker, we met in the middle of the street. Motherfucker got the tossing, man. Oh, got the tossing back. Them bitches was reaching all the way to King Drive from Michigan.
So you got to throw it back, huh?
He throwing some big shit, I swear to God. We got back to the block after, you know, everything happened, man. I swear to God, it was cars crashed on the block and everything. Like, they was literally coming down to one as the bang out was happening, man. And the shit he was sending back that way had motherfuckers on 61st and shit, smacking shit on the corner. We got back to the hood, boy, Pereira before it was a fat ass Pontiac smacked into the motherfucker. It'd be mailboxes and shit on the corner back in the day. A whole mailbox on phone them smacked up. Motherfucker smacked into a mailbox right on the corner, Pereira before in the Pontiac. A girl too.
Damn.
Still was a girl, folks. She was sitting on that bitch, sick as hell on 61st and Pereira because she smacked her car into the mailbox.
And here's the detail that almost no documentary covers. O.D. Perry, the man O Block is named after, actually shot at 600 members before the alliance was formed. Odie Perry wasn't just a martyr. Before his death, before the naming, before the mythology, Odie had fired on members of what would become the 600 side. He was from Bluff City originally. He came to Parkway with a reputation already built, and that reputation included violence against the very people who would later become O-Block's closest allies. So when people say the O-Block 600 alliance was natural, no, it was negotiated. It was built through specific people, T-Roy, J-Money, and King Von, who literally bridged a gap that started with bullets from the very person the block is named after. That's not a natural alliance. That's a miracle. And miracles in Chicago don't last.
Pointed it out. Is that King Von has 600 tattooed on him?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Like, why would King Von get 600 tattooed on him?
Because he LA'd up and he's 600. You feel me? Like, bro, that's why I be telling niggas, like, when niggas be asking me about, like, they be like, man, you always talking about T-Roy and Von and Jake Money. Like, was you O-Block? Like, bro, at one point in time, like, the real members, folk, like, we was, like, hanging every day. Like, O-Block and 600 was them that the same thing. If you was a real member, you was the same thing. We looked at that shit like the same. And Von was the nigga, like he took, like when Von started hanging with me, folk, like he was on my block. And this one thing a lot of O-Block niggas really never did. Like, you know, cause how they hood structured, folk, like it's just so much easier and simpler to just go stand in them gates and hang with folks them. You know what I'm saying? And just go over there and be, you know, play the park. You know what I'm saying? Play Parkway, play them gates. You know what I'm saying? Sit in the wick where we kind of covered and blanketed, then rather than just standing on 600 where we ain't protected by that same type of security reasons. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you'll catch 600 in a wick. But what J Money, T-Roy, and Von started doing, like once we started hanging together heavy, folk, they was coming on the block with me, like I'll be in a wick, and then I'll be like, I'll leave. I'm like, where you finna go? I'm like, I'm finna go to the block. They like, all right, we on the block. Like, phone them start coming on the block. Like, they on my block now. So now a lot of times, you know, phone them like T-Roy, Von, Money, they outside on the block with us. You know what I'm saying? So T-Roy, like with Von, bro, when we was losing niggas, folk, Von took that shit personally. Like, T-Roy took that shit personally. Like, J Money took that shit personally. Like, bro, these my blood niggas, folk. Like, we was the same shit. Like, it was O-Block and 600 niggas in the same group, bro. Like, our friend group was O-Block 600 niggas. Like, me, J Money, V-Roy, by now. You know what I'm saying? Folks them, like, we O-Block 600 niggas in our everyday crew. Like, it ain't just, oh yeah, 600, and then we go link with O-Block. Like, my crew, we jam, we so much, you can't tell us apart on BD. You know, when Von got locked up, he got locked up at LA hood coat. Him and LA had swapped coats, man.
You want to understand the O-Block versus 600 war? You have to understand the building. Parkway Gardens, the apartments on 64th and King Drive. Not just the physical structure, but what that structure created. Memo 600, one of the few still standing from that era, described it best. He said the projects weren't just housing, they were a world, a complete ecosystem. You had the basketball courts, the playground, the 5th floor party spots, Nicky Neek's crib, Shoddy Shot's spot, Blow's apartment, Cortis on the 4th, Freddy's crib. These were teenagers, not gangsters, not killers. Kids playing hide and seek between the abandoned units, running through the black and white checkered floors of the old women's hallway. Grown teenagers hiding behind broken walls, catching each other, screaming, laughing. That was O-Block before O-Block was O-Block. Memo said it himself. We used to have fun, gang. No gang beef, no drugs, none of that. We just vibing out like a real family, bro. Keyword, family. But here's what families in Chicago's South Side understood that the rest of the world didn't. Your family is also your army. And when the army splits, the war doesn't start with a declaration. It starts with silence, with people not picking up the phone, with cousins who used to drop you off at the block suddenly driving past. The architecture of this conflict was built into the architecture of the buildings themselves. When Chicago demolished the projects and dispersed the families with Section 8 vouchers, the bonds didn't break, they stretched. And stretched things eventually snapped.
So you can't feel gunshot wounds where it's like at first it's like a shock that it's like you can't feel it.
Hit it.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just trying to get your mindset. I want to ask you this because I seen you tweaking with a motherfucker on Clubhouse, and dude said some crazy, vicious, heinous ass. Like he gonna catch you and he want to give you 20 and all this shit. I'm damn like, but you on the phone, you talking to him regular. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear a motherfucker talking to you like that and you been shot before, like what do that play on your mind? Like you just seem like it bothered you, but it's like how do that play on your mind? You know what I'm saying?
That should be entertainment. It's Clubhouse. Of course he gonna say that. He on Clubhouse. It's entertainment. You know you get paid on Clubhouse now, right?
Oh no, I ain't know that.
Yeah, so they say all type of shit for entertainment now. Clubhouse don't be real.
You was lighthearted about it. That's why I'm like, damn. But I don't know, bro. So they don't play no mind on you psychologically though, you know what I'm saying? Being shot, like it's like as far as like living in Chicago, because people talk about PTSD, you know what I'm saying?
People get shot every day.
Here's what people outside Chicago don't understand. O Block and 600 were never two separate things in the way that, say, the Bloods and the Crips are separate things. They were the same family living on different floors. The 600 side, the building on 64th and King Drive known as the K-Met building, was the nucleus, the core, the original, founded by Lil Boo and D-Thang around 2009, rising from what was previously Brick City.
The fans, they've been on my ass about this Take Capone interview.
Yeah.
They say, what was it like growing up with Lil Boo? Why do we always hear you say on Lil Boo?
Lil Boo introduced me to 600.
Okay.
Like, Lil Boo is a nigga who, you know, him and D-Thang, like, I know people be getting the D-Things confused, but I be talking about D-Thang from my hood.
Okay.
D-Thang was a guy, Lil Boo, I'm sorry, I was about to speak about D-Thang. D-Thang, Lil Boo, I'm steady saying, folks, I need to just talk about both of them, shouldn't I?
Somebody on your mind.
Hey, but now, Lil Boo, he with D-Thang, he invented 600. So Lil Boo was like a nigga who, he was one of the originators, and he showed me everything. Like him, he was the one that actually asked me, like, are you ready to be down with this shit? Like, we was in LA or something, he like, you ready to be down with this shit? I looked at Booker like, man, what do you mean, fool? He talking about some nigga, he asked you, is you ready to be 600? I'm like, hell yeah. Man, this shit, I'm bitty, you feel me? And folks, like, Lil Boo was the nigga who showed me the ropes, like, you know, I used to walk with my head down and shit like that. I had things like, you know, what I did what innocent shorties did. I did shit like I ain't have a worry in the world, walked slow as hell, shit like that, like, and he just used to be with me every day, like, well, pick your fucking head up. You know, I used to love walking with my head down too because I always used to find money. So, like, when I start walking my head down, he'd slap the back of my head, like, not hard, but like, folk, like, pick your shit up, folk, you looking down, folk. I used to, and then when I pick my head up, I'm only looking for it. Like, folk, like, you watch us around, do this, do that, like, giving me the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, he taught me everything I knew. Everything I knew, he taught me, gang. So it was like, Lil Boo is like a motherfucker who I guess like he always come up, or like I always be merchant on folks and for them because that was my homie.
Wow.
And like, not the other D-Thang. But like D-Thang, he put us where we are, you know what I'm saying? And like,
you mean 600?
Yeah, like he invented this and he carried it. You know what I'm saying? The way we operated our swag, everything, like it came from D-Thang. Like he invented this and he gave us the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So when he died, it was like, you know, that shit one, you know, cause he like I say this, he died in a part of my life where I was romanticizing this shit, like, so, and he was my big bro, like, he was larger than life to me, folks.
O Block, Parkway Gardens proper, formerly Wick City, was the extension. The second home. The place where you went when your own building got too hot. And the bridge between them? That was built by people, not organizations. People. King Von, J Money, T Roy. These were the names that carried both sides. Vaughn had the 600 tattoo. J Money put it down for both blocks. T-Roy loved 600 too, even though the internet debates it. Inky D, Big 600 Ink D, one of the original 600 members who just came home after 8 years, confirmed it. Vaughn was 600 bro, it's O-Block 600 gang. Vaughn did a lot for my block. And when Inky D said it, there was no hesitation, no qualifiers, no, well, technically. It was stated as fact, because in that world, it was fact. J Money was the same way. He and Vaughn were the main two, the ones who put their all into both sides. They didn't just rep 600, they were 600, and they were O-Block, simultaneously, without contradiction. T-Roy? He was with them too, but Inky D was honest about the hierarchy. T-Roy loved 600 too, but J Money and Vaughn, they the main two. They put they all in there, bro. The alliance wasn't political, it wasn't strategic, it was organic, built through proximity, survival, and the specific individuals who refused to let the two sides drift apart. And when your cousin from the next building would drop you off at O-Block, like Memo's cousin Jero Skinny used to do, and the O-Block guys would see him and see you get out of his car and they'd say, yo, that's his cousin, and let him drive away. That's the alliance. That's what it actually looked like.
So it was once upon a time.
I talked to Duck on the phone before on Steve.
You talked to FBG Duck?
Yeah, my cousin from over there, Skinny, when they got killed.
Oh, Jarrell City.
That's my cousin. He FaceTime. We talked. Duck get that bitch. Let me. You think you wrong, bitch? Ooh, he let me write for you. Ooh, he joking with me. I'm man, get your goof ass. He over there with Wooski though. I'm still. I'm trying to be tough. I'll get your goof ass on. Yeah, ain't never been no woofing. I ain't never woofed with folks no more.
Right.
That's lame shit. We grown as hell. Why we woofing over the phone, man? We can go outside.
Woney?
Yeah, big Woney.
Do I look like I let a nigga step on my ones?
I don't know. I just thought it was random as fuck for him to say
Right
that
now,
shit.
no. In the past, I don't
All
know.
my ones like this. I never let no nigga step on my feet. I watch, man, I ain't gonna talk. Vaughn slapped the shit out of him.
Slap the shit out of who?
Woney.
For what?
Some goofy shit he did.
Nah.
Woney got shot in the park.
Oh, I was on Clubhouse. It was a mansion party, and Vaughn was mad that he got.
No, he got shot, and he was in there like, folks, them just shot me. Ain't nobody shoot you. You shot yourself, nigga. Hey, bro.
Did he shoot himself?
He kept saying, they shot me, they shot me. I don't know. I heard they took the clip out, saw one was missing. I don't know.
Yeah. So Vaughn got mad for that nigga just for saying?
He kept saying, yeah, that'll start a lot of shit. There's all type of hoods in this bitch. You talking about somebody shooting you. Everybody guards up looking like you will start some shit. Stop saying that shit.
So you saying he slapped the nigga? So Vaughn a nigga like that just to...
See, he beat up Duke.
Not a meeting, not a handshake. Just the unspoken rule. We don't touch family. Now we get to the moment that most documentaries get wrong. They say Memo and Duke had a beef over a dice game. That's not what happened. Here's what actually happened. Munna Duke shot at Memo 600 during a dice game on O-Block. This wasn't a dispute over money. This wasn't two guys arguing over a roll. This was a hit. Planned, coordinated, executed during a dice game because that's where Memo would be relaxed, distracted, counting his money.
Member and the old block members got into it. In the midst of them getting into it, shots get let off. Somebody actually got hit. I ain't gonna say who. RP Duke, man, on phone now. I never spoke on this because I wasn't trying to get nobody locked up. But Duke passed away, man. RP Duke. He can't get in trouble for this. All I know is whatever this happened, Duke got the blow in that. Somebody got hit on phone. He's shooting at D from 600. Memo one of those that's getting shot at. Memo get away on phone. That's why that's why they be saying Memo be fast on his feet for, because I don't know how football. Memo be getting out of every jam on phone down. Just think about it. Shit with Lil Mizzy don't chase them. Got out that jail. Crashed the car, but he got out the jail. Shit when they tried to do that shit in the studio with Durk and you know, got out that jam on phone now. This shit, got out that gym. The pool party, he got hit, but he lived. He got out that gym on phone now. Memo get out that gym. Oh damn grave. That's one thing I say about folks. He must got fast feet because folks be surviving. Folks done had a couple situations where it could have went bad for him, or he could have got touched, and folks be getting out that jam. Okay. But let's get back to the story. This happened, right? I think Duke had just came home not too long ago, so it was like this happened. Then it made a tension between the 0 and 600 because just had a real situation. I ain't gonna say a blick out because that would insinuate that somebody shot back. I don't know what nobody for 600 did. I ain't gonna speak on nobody that's alive, what they did or what they didn't do. All I know is, you know, Duke did that on phone no. So you gotta look at things from Memo point of view, right? If you know when y'all was alive, a nigga blew at you, shot your homie, meaning he was trying to shoot you too, because he ain't shooting in the air. Shot at you, he hit somebody. Why would Memo be saying RIP to somebody that you know tried to kill him just because he did? That's why Memo be lashing out. Now we finna go look up Memo. You know, Memo or dick ride. I ain't saying that. These are my words, but bro, this is what he's saying. This how this feel. It's obvious. When you look at it and you see what's really going on, it's obvious. You see, like, all right, folks feel away, and he should. How can I trust him that's doing stuff like that? It's hard to like damn. It's like damn. We the guys, but what the fuck is y'all doing, gang? Like.
Confirmed fact, Munna Duke shot at Memo 600 on O-Block during a dice game. Duke was not alone. He had his cousin with him, 2 coordinated actors. This was not spontaneous. The dice game was the setup. And here's what most people don't know. After the dice game shooting, Booman, another one of Memo's cousins, was killed in a car shooting that was specifically targeting Memo. The shooters were looking for Memo. They got Booman instead. That's 2 cousins targeted. 1 shot at during a dice game, 1 killed in a car. Both incidents connected to the same conflict. Memo 600 didn't just lose a dice game, he lost family, and the family he lost was targeted because of the O-Block 600 fracture. Now let me correct something that even I got wrong in earlier drafts, and that almost every documentary gets wrong. The beef between Memo 600 and Munna Duke did not start over a female. Here's what actually happened. Memo pointed out that D-Thang's baby mama was messing with Munna Duke after D-Thang died. That's a fact Memo spoke on. But that's not what started the beef. That was Memo pointing out hypocrisy. Duke was running his mouth about loyalty while doing disloyal things himself. The actual origin of the Memo Duke beef? Memo called it himself. This, that heck business. Heck. HK. HK's brother. He said it 3 times. This, that heck business. This, that heck business. You hear me? This, that heck business. And then he refused to elaborate further. Confirmed fact. Memo 600 acknowledged on camera that the conflict between himself and Duke involved what he called heck business, a reference to HK. He declined to provide specific details beyond this reference. Rumor, Josh, allegation. A video by 16 Shalom was titled, Money Duke tried to kill Memo 600 and shot another 600 member in O-Block. The contents of this video, combined with Memo's heck business reference, suggest that the conflict between Memo and Duke escalated to attempted violence connected to the HK situation. The HK situation is the connective tissue of this entire war. It's not a side story, it's the story. O-Block thought 600 backdoored HK. That suspicion created the fracture. And from that fracture, every personal beef, Memo versus Duke, the dice game, the car shooting, the trolling, became a proxy war for the larger collapse. The female stuff? That's what Memo pointed to when people asked about Duke's character. You talking about loyalty, but you messing with D-Thang's baby mama after he died? That's not the origin. That's the ammunition.
D-Thang done passed away, right? And D-Thang baby mama done had a baby by another nigga or whatever. and you dissing that nigga. You can't have that much love for D-Thing if you dissing a nigga that his woman involved with.
First of all, that
I'm
nigga.
just saying.
Listen, that bitch ain't giving.
I don't mean to keep bringing Money Duke up. I'm just saying, gang.
Let me talk. That
no,
nigga,
cause you fool, gang.
Listen, that bitch ain't give a fuck about D-Thing if she fuck with a nigga that was around with folks in them.
Well, I mean, mama gotta have a life too.
Man, if you don't get your nothing ass up out of here, that bitch ain't give a fuck about D-Thing if she went to fuck with a nigga that was in a circle. On my kids, gang. Tell me I'm wrong. We right here to be real, right? Or fake. First of all, that bitch wouldn't have won the
She ain't wrong.
Man, if you don't get your man.
All
right, I'm out of here.
Okay, go ahead.
That bitch wouldn't have did phone them dick if she wasn't. If it was that, she wouldn't have went and fucked and sucked on food if she knew food was in a circle with it, food them. Like, that shit all weird, gang. On my kids, that shit all weird, gang. Your kids is the daddy of them other niggas you got a baby by. Like, your kids is some kin to the nigga that you fucked and sucked the other nigga. Like, you know? Fuck friends, all that shit. They all some kin. For them went into it. Duke went into it with D-Thing. Like, all that shit weird, gang. Like, how you gon'... You can't talk about nobody. Like, none of that shit you got going on, none of that. You can't bring that shit up. Like, on my kids. And everybody hate me because I always speak facts, gang. On Listed. And I admit when I'm wrong. Just like you been clapping me on this bitch since we been recording, gang. I'ma accept that shit. I'ma laugh, kick it with you, all that. But... that shit was fool. On Listed. And I feel some type of way because they ain't let Duke baby mama know when the funeral was or come to the funeral.
Right. They ain't let his son
And they
know.
talking about, oh, she fucking with fools from Limron. First of all, you did folks dick. How the fuck you gonna be mad because she did folks dick? Like, you bitches is weird. On my kids. Like, you bitches is weird, gang. Like, stop playing, bro.
The origin is heck business. Here's a story that's been floating around Chicago for years. Memo 600 confirmed it on camera. King Von punched out Munna Duke in Iowa. Not a fight. Not a fair one. Von stole on him, caught him off guard, hands first, his ass, and took his pipe. His gun, in front of women. Confirmed fact. Memo 600 stated on camera that King Von physically assaulted Munna Duke in Iowa. According to Memo, he was showing out in front of some hoes. Von stole on him his ass and took his pipe. Memo stated he was 100% certain this happened. Von wasn't in Iowa when it happened. But Memo knew the details because Duke's own people talked about it. It became one of those stories that traveled through the South Side, passed from block to block, version to version, each telling more humiliating than the last. Here's why this matters for the O Block versus 600 story. Von was the enforcer of the Alliance's code. When Duke was out of line, showing out, acting up, disrespecting the bond, Von handled it, physically. The way leaders in that world handle things. And Duke took that L and sat on it, and it festered. Because in Chicago, getting up in front of women isn't just a physical defeat, it's a status defeat. It's a public humiliation, and having your pipe, your gun, your protection, your identity as a man who can defend himself taken from you, that's not just losing a fight. That's losing your status in the hierarchy.
RP Munna Duke. But all right, so I was watching you did the DJU interview, but I think before I even seen the DJU interview, I had seen 16 break the story where he was saying that because you was getting backlash because after Munna Duke died, you know, O Block 600, y'all like this. Everybody know y'all from being cool. So when Duke died, we seen you trolling. So everybody like kind of confused about the situation. Like, damn, why is Memo trolling?
They only confused because certain niggas don't do what I do. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and dick ride no niggas and you know it ain't that with them and we got shit going on. Like, you know, it's certain niggas, I ain't gonna say they scared. Yeah, they scared, but I'ma always speak my mind, gang. If we not fucking with y'all, we not fucking with y'all. You can't force me to fuck with y'all because folk don't fuck with y'all. Like,
but what 16 basically said, and he said, I know you seen it, but the nigga said basically the reason you and Munna Duke don't fuck with each other because the nigga shot at you while you was in O Block and another nigga from 600 got hit or some shit like that and you ran up out of there.
I ran up out of there?
It was That's what I heard from 16. And the shit got a lot of views, so it looked like
it was true.
That's what they saying. And then when you add in like, damn, so Money Duke and Memo had beef, because I used to see y'all go at it on Clubhouse a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't know it was to that extent or whatever. I don't know what happened. But when you hear 16 say that, and then you doing the trolling online,
it look like it's
it, you know what I'm saying? It look like it add up a little bit.
Basically.
Yeah,
basically.
So you on Duke's situation wasn't no shit, because you praise E-Dog a lot, so I figured like E-Dog could have been a nigga that could have stepped in and kind of patched shit up.
But he didn't do enough to prevent what's going on. Like,
word. So then you don't
with him to the death.
So even though like, you know, 600 and O-Block, y'all got like this long history of like being the brothers and shit. You don't damn.
Yeah.
It's the internal politics is kind of interesting, because I think I heard you say or someone else say that like didn't King Von like knock out Duke back in the day and stuff. So
that's where this stem from, right? Yeah. That's where a lot of it. You said that King Von, y'all was in Iowa. King Von punched Money Duke in the face because he was showing out in front of some hoes, and he knocked him out in front of the hoes and took his pipe.
Yeah.
And you was there to see that?
No.
You just heard about it?
I ain't no heard. I basically was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's where you and Duke.
You know it's true. Did he deny?
I ain't see him deny.
He did interviews with, what was that, Cam? Somebody. He didn't deny it. He didn't deny it, but he just said, oh man, Memo's just Memo. Like, you know.
But let me ask you, what y'all had problems stemming before that for you to even go online to say that?
Yeah.
Is somebody's phone buzzing like super?
No, I think it's the fan.
You hear that?
No, that's somebody's phone.
No, somebody.
Von was the only person who could have stopped the Memo Duke beef. Memo confirmed this when asked if things could have been different if Von was still here. Folks would have treated both of us, both of you look like goofies for even playing with each other like that. Von wouldn't have mediated. He would have disciplined both of them. Because in Von's world, brothers fighting brothers was embarrassing, and embarrassing things got handled. But Von isn't here, and without him, the embarrassment became entertainment. And the entertainment became content, and the content became a war. This might be the most important section of this entire documentary, because it reveals something that most street documentaries miss. The war was partly built on a lie. Here's what happened. HK, a member connected to the O-Block 600 orbit, was killed, and for a significant period, the prevailing belief on O-Block was that 600 had backdoored HK, set him up, delivered him to the opposition. This belief, this conviction, shaped the relationship between the two sides. It created a chill, a distance, a suspicion that poisoned every interaction. O-Block looked at 600 and thought, you set up our people. 600 looked at O-Block and thought, you're accusing us without proof. And the truth? The truth didn't come from the streets. It came from the courtroom. Confirmed fact, when the case went to court, evidence emerged that contradicted the belief that 600 had backdoored HK. The court proceedings revealed that the circumstances of HK's death did not involve a setup by 600 members. This is critical. This is the moment that the entire narrative should have shifted. But it didn't, because by the time the truth came out, the damage was already done. The alliance had already fractured. The suspicion had already calcified into certainty. And in the streets, certainty, even wrong certainty, is more powerful than truth. The HK situation is a perfect case study in how street wars escalate, not based on what happened, but based on what people believe happened. And by the time the facts arrive, the bodies are already in the ground and the grudges are already generational. There was a period, after the HK situation, but before the court revelations, where there was no 600 for a little while. The alliance didn't just weaken, it went dark. 600, as an identity connected to O-Block, essentially ceased to exist in any functional sense. The name was still there, the people were still there, but the bond, the trust, the willingness to ride together, gone. Let's sit in that silence a moment longer. Because this is what the war looked like inside, not non-stop violence, non-stop doubt. The most corrosive thing in any conflict isn't the fighting, it's the not knowing. When 600 went dark, When the alliance froze, it looked like people not calling back. Memo on Instagram posts O-Block read as disrespect. Von's old crew watching as the internet turned their bond into content. Inky, 8 years in, calling home to learn his brother Manny was dead. Some who should have protected him stood on the other side of a wall that didn't used to exist. The dark period wasn't only violence, it was absence. The absence of structure, the absence of the glue, and there is no better word for what King Von was to this alliance. Von was the glue. Inky confirmed it, with nuance. He was, but he wasn't. Others had genuine love there. Memo asked if Von was the glue for 600. Not for 600. Hell no. Moments later. Yeah, he really was the glue with that situation. He tried to stop everything. That contradiction is the truth. Von bridged O-Block and 600. He didn't hold 600 together internally. 600 had its own code. When Von died, the person and the bridge, the sides didn't drift apart. They were pushed apart by the vacuum he left. Nature abhors a vacuum. In Chicago, what fills a vacuum is never peace. Before we go further into Memo 600's story, understand this. Every time Memo speaks, interviews, posts every word on Little Steve. On Steve McGee. On Little Steve McGee. Confirmed fact. Little Steve was Memo's brother. His baby brother. Not a homie. Blood. He died at 14, 5 days after his birthday. He was turning 15. Inky, Big 600. Ink remembered the last time he saw Steve. Me, him, Sosa. In the hallway smoking. Chief Keef there. He walked off. Then that call came. Inky said he lived in shock for years. I still couldn't believe it. That's how that you up, Memo said. My real brother died 5 days after his birthday. He was turning 15. There are kids who die at 12 or 13. Steve died when he was 14. This is the weight Memo carries. Not just Von. His brother, 14. Every troll, every diss, every truth. Sworn on that name. Black frame. Understanding. Little Steve is understanding Memo. It doesn't excuse the trolling. It explains the rage behind it. Coming off Little Steve, you hear the weight in every word Memo says. That name is his compass and his trigger. Let's talk about Memo. Full stop. No one embodies the O-Block and 600 fracture more. Separate what we know from what we think. Confirmed facts, not speculation. He's an original 600 member. K-Met building kid. Around for the Alliance's first handshake. Close with King Von since the late 2000s. He says, consistently, he wasn't there the night Von died. On O-Block, during a dice game, Duke fired at Memo, with Memo's cousin present. That cousin, Boo Man, was later killed in a car shooting that targeted Memo. Another cousin, Jero Skinny, on the opposite side, was killed by his own people. Memo himself was shot in mid-April. Duke was first to publicly clown him. Career-wise, Memo signed to D-Thang, not directly to Lil Durk. His record, Steppers, hit before any OTF affiliation. He says he was never kicked out of OTF. I'm 600 to death. As for the Duke feud, Memo frames it as heck business, tied to H, not over a woman. He also noted, after D-Thang died, Duke dealing with D-Thang's child's mother. Rumors and allegations live online. Claims he was robbed by Zoo or O-Block. Memo denies it. Claims he ran on Von. He denies that, categorically. O-Block voices label his posts trolling. Duke said, he can't step a foot on my block, never. He ain't never put a belt to a man. That's not a lover's quarrel. That's a rupture. Trust gone. Here's why Memo matters. He's the one who stayed long enough to see every season. 30 plus and surviving. Friends into enemies. OGs into informants. Boys into statistics. He's not just a troll. He's a man with grief for a brother who died at 14. And anger at people he thought were family. When Duke shot at him over heck business, something in Memo broke. And never reset. Inky put it bluntly. Memo was bro, but he disrespected what he did. He went too far. He could have kept that to himself. He wanted it public. Then Inky added the tension. We were one. Some feel you bogus. That was family. We love family. Them. But what about when it was me? I got shot. They trolled me. That's the split. Even allies understand his anger. They don't agree with how he showed it. And under all of it, one name keeps showing up in his sentences. Little Steve. Before Duke died, he told his story to Cam Capone. Not headlines, just a life lived mostly locked up. He said he was gone for almost every major moment. When Odie was killed, when Chief Keef blew up, when Von started rapping, when L.A. Capone was killed. I'll be locked up for all the good, he joked, tired. He came home 4 to 5 months before Von died. That was all the outside time they had. When Von first came home and asked, should I start rapping? Duke said, hell no. He couldn't see it, until the world did. On Smoking Dead Ops, Duke said, childish. You smoke theirs, they'll smoke yours. Childish. On jail clips of Von cracking jokes, he said, you gotta be in there to know. A finesse to make a move, to get out a situation. He walked Cook County like a veteran. Glock Dookie. Savage life. Fights over commissary, every day. About Memo, in Duke's words. He ain't never put a belt to ass on no man. I can't take him serious. He can't step a foot on my block, never. Could they squash it? Ain't no way. I'm his ass, and it could be cool after that. Well, we ain't gonna be cool. That's the core. Even if the fists flew and stopped, the trust was gone. And you can't rebuild trust on a foundation of bullets. Let me tell you the story the internet confuses with the origin of the beef. D-Thang, Lil Durk's brother, was killed. After his death, D-Thang's baby mama became involved with someone in the circle, inside the same orbit as Durk and the OTF family. Memo dissed her for it, publicly. His reasoning: that B ain't give a about D-Thang if she f***ing with a Nias that was in the circle. On my kids, gang, tell me I'm wrong. The interviewer pushed back. Mama got to have a life too, man. Memo's response: if she went and Furied and sucked on a nin, she knew was in the circle with D-Thang, that's all weird, gang. And then Memo made the connection. Duke went into it with D-Thang, like all that's weird, gang. How you gonna talk about nobody with this you got going on? Let me be clear, this did not start the beef. This was Memo pointing out hypocrisy. Duke talking loyalty and street code while messing with D-Thang's girl after he died. To Memo, that made Duke's moral position illegitimate. The origin of the beef was heck business. The D-Thang baby mama angle was the consequence, not the spark. The women in this story aren't background. They're the infrastructure of the hypocrisy. And hypocrisy cuts deeper than betrayal. A betrayer knows he's wrong. A hypocrite thinks he's right. In Chicago, that difference turns posts into pressure, and pressure into war. Memo told a story that nobody talks about. And it might be the most important origin story in all of Chicago drill. The projects. Before O-Block was O-Block. Before 600 was 600. Before any of these names existed. There were the project buildings. The Rosa walls. The wheels. The State Street corridor. Building after building after building. A stretch of public housing so long it had its own geography. Memo lived at 4950 South State, Department 1203 and 1608, Vulture City. That's not a metaphor. That's an address. And then the city tore them down. When the projects were demolished, the families inside received Section 8 vouchers. They were scattered. Some moved to Parkway Gardens. Some moved to 64th and King. Some moved further south. Some moved west. And the kids who had grown up in the same building, gone to the same schools, played in the same hallways, were suddenly on different blocks, different sides, different flags. Memo said it best. Our OGs moved around when we was like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's when you really getting in your prime. If you want to be a street, that's when you really growing up, and these are the ones you growing up with. This is the seed. This is where it starts. Not with a shooting, not with a diss track, with a housing policy that uprooted an entire community and scattered its children across the South Side like seeds. Seeds that grew into different crews with different loyalties and different enemies. The war between O-Block and 600 wasn't created by the streets. It was created by the city. Now let's get into what this war actually looked like on the ground. Not the headlines, not the court documents, the lived experience. Inky described 600 as gruesome. When asked if the current generation, the Von-Off 1700s, the Bloodhounds, reminded him of 600's energy, he said simply, "No, we was gruesome. You couldn't tell us nothing. We was reckless." That word, reckless, carries weight. Because recklessness isn't courage. It's the absence of fear combined with the absence of foresight. It's doing things because you can, not because you should. And when an entire crew operates from that energy, the body count isn't a consequence, it's a feature. Memo described 600's reputation when they would come to Parkway. "We come in there, they feeling on us, they doing do and all that. But so going to get to a certain point where like, all right, these too fanned out." Memo was describing jealousy. The girls in Parkway, who had been around O-Block guys their whole lives, were suddenly fascinated by the 600 guys. New faces, new energy, new danger, and the O-Block guys felt disrespected. That's how the alliance started to crack on the ground level. Not with bullets, but with attention shifting. With the social dynamics of a project building where the new faces got more interest than the old ones. Inky confirmed what the streets already knew. The war wasn't BDs versus GDs. It was BDs and Stones versus GDs. The alignment sounded political, but the fighting was block versus block. Building versus building. Staircase versus staircase. And the weapons, the switches? Memo said it plain. The switch killed everything. Switch killed the streets. Switch is what make the streets hot. All these murders, they outpower the law enforcement with them things. This is the war that nobody won. A war where the weapons outpace the wisdom, where the cameras outpace the consequences, and where the internet turned every shooting into content. Here's something that might surprise you. In Cook County Jail, the war paused. Not because of peace, because of structure. Inky described an encounter with 051 DJ, someone from the opposite side, on the same deck in the county. They identified themselves. "I'm from 600. I'm from 51st. And then, all right, bet, we gonna leave it in the streets." That's county code. In the jail, the decks are separated. 5-point stars sit with 5-point stars. 6-point stars sit with 6-point stars. And if you find yourself on the same deck as your op, you have a choice. Fight it out in a confined space where there's nowhere to run, or agree to handle it when you get back to the world. Most choose the latter. Duke described the county with the resigned knowledge of someone who's lived it. You really can't do too much in jail. You go fight, or you go going to Rome, or you go play some cards. For me, it was same Southborough, just being away. When asked what happens when you run into your ops in jail, Duke said, "You go get it on. It all depends on who it is. Most of the time, they don't be ons. They just see each other and but it depends on how you feeling about the situation." Inky described the infrastructure of county violence. The flushes. 3 flushes while someone you in the toilet covers the sound. The commissary bag fights. The savage life. Boiling water and soap thrown on people. The Glock dookie. Feces thrown on inmates. Duke confirmed he'd seen all of it. Duke also alleged something rarely said on camera. Lil J in protective custody. Everybody know that's a Tom. He liked going on them protective custody wings so he could be in the cell with one of them. Some silly sa. When a video surfaced of someone who looked like Lil J sitting on another man's lap, Duke wasn't surprised. That's been going on for a long time, from when he got locked up. The county isn't peace, it's a pause, a timeout, and when the timeout ends, the game starts again. Let's count the cost. Not in bodies, because the body count is public and you already know the names. Von J Money, T-Roy, E-Day, C-Drive, HK, Manny, Duke, Youngin, Smooth, Little Steve, D-Thang, Lil Boo, and dozens more whose names never made the internet. Let's count the cost in survivors. When Memo was asked how many guys from Chicago's 2012 era, the golden age of drill, are still standing today, still got their chain, still got their freedom, still got their life. He said, out of 100%, I say like 25. 25%. That means 3 out of 4 people from that era are either dead, in prison, or gone. Not temporarily, permanently. And the 25% who survived? They're carrying the weight of the other 75. Every fallen friend, every dead brother, every mother who had to bury her child. Inky lost his brother Manny while he was locked up. He got the call from Memo and McAdoo. Call your peoples, boy. He called. He got the news. And he had to serve the rest of his 8-year bid with that weight on his chest. Inky developed PTSD. When asked directly, did you? Hell yeah, boy. Memo lost Vaughn. He lost his brother little Steve at 14, 5 days after his birthday. He lost his cousin Boo Man, killed in a car shooting targeting Memo himself. He lost his cousin Jero Skinny from the opposite side, killed by his own people. That's 3 cousins and a brother, all gone. And Memo is the one still here, still swearing on little Steve's name, still carrying every loss in every word he speaks. Big Mike, who knew Duke from the sandbox, described the feeling after Duke's death. I lost all my homies from the sandbox. Like, we gonna stop. Like, this is like a never-ending cycle, bro. And then Big Mike said something every parent understands. The kids are watching. The cycle is hungry. Munna Duke was killed at Pork Chop, a lounge up in Edgewater. He was with Youngin. Smooth was shot but survived. It was a targeted hit. At least 2 gunmen opened fire. Someone knew when they were there and when they were leaving. Memo trolled the details like he'd been waiting for it. First of all, you a Muslim. You got caught at a restaurant called Pork Chop. But what happened after is worse, and almost nobody talks about it. Someone posted a photo of Duke's O-block chain, blood still on it, held up for the camera with talk of get back. Big Mike said he saw it. Blood stains clear as day. He holding the chain up talking about get back. That's goofy. And then he said the quiet part. His mama gotta see this. What is y'all doing? The internet didn't just document Duke's death. It desecrated it. A murder turned into a trophy. A mother's grief turned into content. Memo dissed Duke's death. But the chain photo? That's a different kind of disrespect. Memo. Switch killed everything. The auto-seer turned choice into spray. 50 rounds in 5 seconds. Cheap to get. No limit. Kyro caught with a switch, pled to 3 to 4 on Fed time. You can't put the switch back in the box. Now we get to one of the most explosive claims in the entire O-Block and 600 saga. Kyro, no limit. A member of the No Limit faction, an ally of 600. Kieran Dameron did an interview on DJU TV where he made a claim that sent shockwaves through the south side. He said, 600 Manny told. Manny, Inky D's brother. The same Manny whose death Inky D learned about while locked up. Inky D's response to the Kyro allegation was measured but firm. He heard it. He acknowledged it. Then he asked the only question that matters. You got some paperwork? Confirmed fact, no limit. Kyro stated that Manny from 600 told, cooperated with law enforcement. Rumor and allegation, people close to Manny disputed it. No paperwork has been produced publicly. Inky D's position, till I see some black and white. The significance goes beyond Manny. If a core 600 member told, the foundation cracks. If it's unproven, the accusation is another fracture all its own. Kyro himself now faces the same world, reportedly arrested with a Glock switch and a stolen car, taking a plea deal for 3 to 4 years. Accusations build wars. Paper ends them, or doesn't. We talked about HK. A belief became a border. Court said otherwise. Too late to matter. Another claim hit the air. A father on camera saying money moved to pay for murder. Inky D heard it and laughed without joy. If you did it, why aren't you in a cell? If you didn't, why say it on TV? Because the camera pays. The algorithm rewards a better story. Courtrooms hold facts. The internet holds narratives. Between them, People don't die from bullets. They die from belief. There was a moment, thin as smoke, when peace almost held. Memo in Vegas with Ruger. The internet screamed betrayal. He called it growing up. Bullets cost. Switches run 5 figures. Cars, gas tanks, broken glass. Everything costs. You actually lose money beefing. Peace needs trust. Trust died before the truth arrived. Another faction entered the war. The bloggers. They map beefs, they chase clicks, they sometimes find what cops miss. Swiper DJU16 showed them 1090 Jake others. They amplify, they investigate, they incentivize. Inky D warned. A lot is clickbait. Naming names can jail the wrong men. Duke drew a line on 1090 Jake. No paperwork, no case. Paper stands. Stories fall. They don't pull triggers, they pull attention. In Chicago, attention is currency. What remains of 600 is breath, thin and expensive. Inky D steps into a faster world. More lenses, more buttons on guns. Memo is 33, still outside. Asked who never folded. Silence. He says there's one thing left to do. No one asks what. Everyone knows. Survival here isn't winning. It's not losing yet. The internet skips the quiet facts. A word carved into a jail table. GDK lit the lunchroom like a fuse. Trays paused midair. Eyes sharpened. The writer swallowed his name and let the rumor die in his throat. Silence saved teeth. Maybe lives. A night drive. Headlights sliding over wet asphalt. The car meant for Memo took Booman instead. Second cousin. Wrong seat. Wrong second. Grief buckled in without a sound. Jaro Skinny, kin from the other side, used to steer Memo through back streets no map could teach. Blood before blocks. Then his own block folded him into a photo frame. Family pictures don't pick sides. A payphone hum. Manny's death reached a locked door. No funeral, just dial tone and concrete counting the days. Memo tells kids, this isn't a game. No extra lives. No respawns. Steve's hands touched guns at 7, maybe 8. Childhood got repoed early. Vaughn once asked Duke if he should rap. Hell no, Duke said, grinning like the future could take a joke. They got 4, maybe 5 months of free air together. Then Candlelight did the talking. When the lights dimmed, Memo spoke softer. Anytime something hit me, God made sure I stood back up. He said men reap what they sow. He's seen it. That's not a punchline. It's a law older than Chicago. Follow me back to where that law was written. End. Nothing new under the sun. A king holds 12 tribes. When he dies, the nation splits. Vaughn held 2 blocks. When he died, the bridge fell. Brothers reconcile on top of an old wound. Time covers. It doesn't heal. A party becomes a setup. Laughter turns to blood. Family does it. Back doors aren't modern. Kings felt knives from their own tents. Chicago didn't invent this story. It's repeating one.